Patapon is officially back and probably in the best way ever. Today we're going to be going over the reveal of a brand new game and of course a brand new Kickstarter campaign that has been already surpassed the expectations, where essentially they confirmed that a brand new Patapon game called Patapon Raratan is set to release onto the Nintendo Switch in the future. We don't necessarily know if this is going to be a 2024 or potentially more likely a 2025 game, but essentially the developers from Ratatara Arts and TVT have opened up and combined for a brand new Kickstarter campaign where essentially they bring Patapon back, a brand new game, a brand new experience with plenty of new ideas from the original developers to essentially brand new consoles, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. Now, as of the time of this recording, the Kickstarter campaign has already been surpassed. I believe they are north of almost $1 million at this point in time. And if you actually take a closer look at the Kickstarter page, they mentioned that they basically funded the game in less than 1 hour. So to say that this game is getting a lot of love and plenty of support is an understatement. Of course, you're also able to see some of the gameplay trailer that they provided with, and today I want to basically tell you everything you need to know about this upcoming title. First and foremost, the game comes from the director Hiroyuki Kotani, basically the designer and original director for the Patapon franchise. Also, the producer is Kazuto Sakuragi, who basically worked on The Eyes of Judgment, and the composer Kenmei Adachi, which worked on things like the original Gran Turismo, Loco Roco, and Patapon. So basically plenty of well-known Japanese developers. This is of course going to be a rhythm action game in which players take the role of the conductor, controlling the actions of a cute army and the Raratan characters. So they're not calling them necessarily the Patapons, but they're called the Raratans. Basically the same idea, but of course just a different name. Now they do provide a little bit of outline as to what the game is going to be and an overlook. So they mentioned that Raratan's gameplay incorporates a unique combination of rhythm and strategy, where players take the role of the conductor, controlling the actions of a cute army of the Raratan characters. Using commands on the controller, each button represents one of the 4 musical phrases and must be struck in sync with the established rhythm in order to give the instructions to the army. Raratan doubled down on a musical theme by introducing characters equipped with musical instruments that can unleash a special skill in battle, along with a more modern movement systems and maintaining the same 4-beat attack and defense gameplay that fans loved from the original Patapon trio of games. Then they also mentioned that Raratans are music-loving heroes brought to life with the power of Madama, and they look like animals that once lived in the planet of Rito. They demonstrate their mysterious powers by singing and playing musical instruments. Each Raratan has a unique instrument and skills for players to be able to use and get the edge on rhythmic battles. For example, the Rampa is a support type character that uses a megaphone to stir up the battlefield, raising both the party morale and the enemy's agitation, while the Harigitan is a defense type character that protects allies from numbingly good riffs on a guitar. As the Raratan conductor, players control a unique variety of Raratans to strike, defend, and support as they march against the enemy armies. Raratans can further gather the combos, which can basically chant and move attacks accordingly as the instructions for the Raratans for an even larger army. They do mention that you can have north of 100 characters in control all at once. Think of Pikmin, but a little bit more side-scrolling, making one massive rhythm showdown. So they do provide a little bit of an introduction to what the game is going to be, and more importantly, according to the Kickstarter page, there's also a couple of other details as well. For example, if you're just simply looking to pick up a digital copy of the game, which will cost you about $50, you can pledge about 6,800 yens, which is once again about $48. They also mentioned that there's a physical version, which is going to cost the typical $60 or 8,300 yens. Of course, this is going to be for whichever platform you choose to pick it up on. There's a digital deluxe version, which brings in beta access, the Discord role, digital art book, digital OST, all of this is going to be available around April of 2025. There's a t-shirt fever set, which includes the aforementioned digital deluxe version, but a t-shirt as well. There's an art book fever set, which replaces the t-shirt with a hand art book as well. The vinyl fever set, which puts the OST, the digital OST, but actually in vinyl, which is really cool for those collectors. The super fever set, which includes all the aforementioned items and plenty more stuff. So I think they're doing a pretty fantastic job, and the fact that they got so much love and so much support relatively instantly kind of confirms that not only do they know what they are trying to do with this Kickstarter campaign, but at the same time, I think that a lot of players are going to be pretty happy, especially the ones that did not get to play Patapon originally when it came out. Now, one of the things that I have seen a lot of people kind of wonder is, well, how come they're not doing like a collector version of the original Patapon games, the original PSP games, the Vita games, the PlayStation, I believe 3 or 2 and 3 games that originally released. And the question essentially boils down to Sony. I believe there is some rights situation. While the developers seem to hold the rights for the actual game, Sony does have a say in who actually gets to put out things that were available in their console. And it doesn't necessarily seem like they have been able to work out something with Sony. Maybe now Sony's seeing that this Patapon Raratan game is getting a lot of love, a lot of support, then of course there can be more things being done with the franchise being brought over to modern gen consoles, and more specifically the original trio of games, which I believe have only ever been available on like the PSP back in the day. I want to say that Patapon was originally a PlayStation portable game. I'm not necessarily sure if it released on other platforms. I do know that Patapon 2 eventually released of course on the PSP back in the day, but also PlayStation 4 later on. Patapon 3 was also a PSP game, but I'm not sure if it came out anywhere else, and I believe it might have just been a Japanese exclusive. I actually don't remember ever seeing that here in the West. And then there's, of course, Jungle Rumble, which was an Android mobile game that I believe also later came out on the Vita, much, much later. So at the end of the day, it would be nice if Sony takes a closer look at this and reconsiders that. I know Loco Roco got some love. I think it got like an original remaster or something along those lines on PS4 a while back, a few years ago. So I believe around the time that Parappa the Rapper, I believe, got a remaster or something on PlayStation 4. So man, that's actually a while ago now. I believe that was 2017. So man, how time flies. So it would be nice if they see, again, this Kickstarter campaign, they see the love for Patapon and they decide to do some sort of collection. But as of right now, Patapon Raratan is something that at the very least Nintendo Switch players can look forward to seeing happening relatively soon in the future. If you're brand new to my channel though, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.